The day started like any other at Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Engineers and scientists bustled about, monitoring screens and discussing the latest data from various space missions. No one could have predicted that by nightfall, humanity's understanding of its place in the universe would change forever. At precisely 2:17 p.m. Central Time, alarms blared across the facility. Red lights flashed, and confused voices filled the air. Dr. Sarah Thompson, the lead astrophysicist on duty, rushed to her station, her heart pounding. "What's going on?" she demanded, her eyes scanning the monitors. A young technician, his face pale, pointed to a blip on the main screen. "Ma'am, we've detected an unknown object entering Earth's orbit. It's massive." Sarah's breath caught in her throat. She had spent her entire career searching for signs of extraterrestrial life, but nothing could have prepared her for this moment. "Get me a visual," she ordered, her voice steadier than she felt. The main screen flickered to life, showing a grainy image that slowly came into focus. Gasps echoed around the room as the shape became clear. It was undeniably a spaceship, unlike anything humans had ever built. Its sleek silver hull gleamed in the sunlight, marred by what appeared to be scorch marks and dents. "My God," Sarah whispered. "It's real. They're here." As the initial shock wore off, the room erupted into action. Phones rang off the hook, fingers flew across keyboards, and urgent messages were sent to government officials and military leaders worldwide. Meanwhile, high above the Earth's surface, the alien ship drifted silently. Its crew, unseen and unknown, made no attempt to communicate or approach. They simply waited. Hours passed in tense anticipation. The news had spread globally, and the eyes of the world were fixed on the sky. Social media exploded with theories, fears, and hopes. Religious leaders called for calm, while some doomsday preppers declared their moment had finally come. Just as the tension reached a breaking point, it happened. A message, broadcast on all frequencies, in perfect English, people of Earth, we come in peace and in need of assistance. Our ship has suffered critical damage. We humbly request your aid in repairs. The message repeated in several other Earth languages, leaving no doubt about its intent. The aliens, whoever they were, needed help. At the White House, President Elena Rodriguez sat in the Situation Room, surrounded by her top advisors. The weight of the world rested on her shoulders as she contemplated the response. "Madam President," the Secretary of Defense spoke up, "this could be a trick. We should approach with extreme caution." Elena nodded, her brow furrowed in thought. "I understand the risks, but think about what this means. Aliens have crossed the vastness of space, and their first act is to ask for our help. We can't ignore that." After hours of debate and consultation with world leaders, a decision was made. Humanity would extend a helping hand. Back at Johnson Space Center, Sarah Thompson found herself leading an unprecedented mission. She and a team of the world's best engineers were tasked with assessing the alien ship's damage and coordinating repair efforts. As the team's shuttle approached the massive alien craft, Sarah's mind raced with questions. How advanced was their technology? Would human tools even be compatible? And most importantly, why had they chosen Earth for help? The docking procedure was tense but smooth. As the airlock cycled, Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for first contact. The door hissed open, revealing a sight that would be etched in her memory forever. The aliens were tall, slender beings, with iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer with colors. Their large, multifaceted eyes regarded the humans with what Sarah could only interpret as relief. One of the aliens stepped forward, raising a hand in what appeared to be a universal gesture of peace. "We thank you for your bravery and willingness to help," it said, its voice melodious and clearly artificial, likely a translation device. Sarah nodded, finding her voice. "We're honored to assist. Can you show us the damage?" As the alien led them through the ship, Sarah and her team were awestruck by the advanced technology surrounding them. Yet, as they reached the engine room, they were surprised to find systems that, while incredibly sophisticated, followed logical principles not entirely dissimilar to human engineering. The alien captain, who introduced himself as Zix, explained their predicament. "Our quantum flux capacitor was damaged by a solar flare. We've tried to repair it, but our species lacks the— What's your word? Ah, yes, knack for mechanical improvisation. Sarah exchanged glances with her team. The term quantum flux capacitor was pure science fiction on Earth, yet here it was, a real and critical component of interstellar travel. As they began to work, something extraordinary happened. The human engineers, drawing on centuries of tinkering, improvising, and thinking outside the box, began to understand and even improve upon the alien technology. Word spread quickly across the galaxy. Humans, the newcomers to the cosmic stage, possessed an unparalleled talent for repairs and technological innovation. Their problem-solving skills, honed by millennia of overcoming challenges on their dynamic and often harsh planet, were unlike anything the more established spacefaring races had encountered. In the days that followed, more alien ships arrived, not to conquer, but to seek help. Earth's skies filled with craft of all shapes and sizes, transforming the planet into an interstellar pit stop. The revelation changed everything. Humanity, once isolated and alone in the cosmos, now found itself at the center of a galactic community. And it was their uniquely human trait, the ability to fix things, to innovate, to see solutions where others saw only problems, that had opened the door. As Sarah Thompson watched ships from a dozen alien races orbit her home planet, she couldn't help but smile. Humanity had feared that first contact would end in conflict, but instead, it had come with a request for help, a testament to the unexpected strengths of the human race. The age of Earth as the galaxy's repair shop had begun, and with it, a new chapter in human history. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now seemed closer than ever, promising adventures and challenges that would push human ingenuity to its limits and beyond. In the small town of Millbrook, nestled in the heart of the American Midwest, life had always moved at a steady, predictable pace. That is, until the day the aliens came. Now, 6 months after first contact, Jessie Chen found herself at the center of a cosmic whirlwind, all because of her uncanny ability to fix things. Jessie's garage, once a humble local business, had become Earth's premier alien ship repair station almost overnight. The 32-year-old mechanic with grease-stained hands and a perpetual look of concentration on her face had never imagined her skills would be in such high demand across the galaxy. As she wiped sweat from her brow, looking up at the towering alien cruiser that filled her expanded workshop, Jessie couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. "Gears! What's the status on the Zorbanian flux regulator?" she called out. A metallic voice responded from seemingly everywhere and nowhere at once. "Analysis complete, Jessie. The flux regulator's primary coil has a microfracture. Estimated repair time 3 hours and 17 minutes. Gears, or Galactic Engineering Automated Repair System, was Jessie's AI assistant. Originally a simple garage management program, Gears had rapidly evolved after being exposed to alien technology, becoming an indispensable part of the repair station's operations. "All right, let's get to it," Jessie said, grabbing her toolkit. As she approached the alien ship, a holographic interface sprang to life, displaying schematics that would have baffled most human engineers. But to Jessie, it was just another puzzle to solve. As she worked, her mind wandered to the strange path that had led her here. It had started with a broken-down alien scout ship that had limped into Millbrook's airspace. The local authorities, overwhelmed and underprepared, had turned to the town's best mechanic out of desperation. Jessie had approached the alien technology with the same mindset she used for fixing old tractors, with curiosity, intuition, and a whole lot of trial and error. To everyone's surprise, especially the aliens, she had the ship up and running in less than a day. Word spread quickly through the galaxy. Soon, alien ships of all shapes and sizes were appearing in the skies above Millbrook, all seeking the human with the magic touch. A loud clang snapped Jessie back to the present. She had accidentally dropped a hyperspanner, a tool that looked like a cross between a wrench and a small computer. "Careful, Jessie," Gears chimed in. "That hyperspanner is worth more." Jessie stood at the entrance of her garage, coffee in hand, surveying the scene before her. Ships of all shapes and sizes filled the once empty fields surrounding her property. Some hovered silently, while others rested on hastily constructed landing pads. The quiet morning was occasionally interrupted by the hum of energy fields or the hiss of coolant systems. "Gears!" Jessie called out. "What's on the agenda for today?" The AI's voice crackled through her earpiece. "We have 3 priority repairs scheduled, Jessie. However, there's a situation that requires your immediate attention." Jessie's brow furrowed. "What kind of situation?" Before Gears could respond, a commotion erupted near the far end of the yard. 2 alien species, the Voltans and the Myraxians, were engaged in a heated argument. Their translators struggled to keep up with the rapid fire exchange, but the hostility was clear. As Jessie jogged towards the conflict, she could make out snippets of the conversation. The Voltan captain, a tall, crystalline being that shimmered in the morning light, was accusing the Myraxians of stealing parts from their ship. The Myraxians, short, furry creatures with multiple arms, vehemently denied the charges. "Whoa, whoa!" Jessie shouted as she approached. "What's going on here?" The Voltan captain turned to her, its faceted surface reflecting a kaleidoscope of colors. "Human Jessie, these Myraxian thieves have stolen a crucial component from our warp drive. We demand justice!" The lead Myraxian chittered angrily. "Lies! We have taken nothing. Our people are honorable traders, not thieves." Jessie raised her hands, calling for calm. "Let's all take a deep breath. Gears, can you scan the Voltan ship and the Myraxian vessel for the missing component?" After a tense moment, Gears responded. "Scan complete. The component in question is not present on either ship." The aliens erupted into another round of accusations. Jessie's mind raced, trying to find a solution that would satisfy both parties and prevent an intergalactic incident in her own backyard. "Listen," she said firmly, her voice cutting through the noise. "Fighting won't solve anything. Let me take a look at both of your ships. Maybe there's been a misunderstanding, or maybe we can find a workaround for the Voltan's missing part." The aliens grudgingly agreed, and Jessie spent the next few hours meticulously examining both vessels. As she worked, she couldn't help but marvel at the diversity of technologies before her. The Voltan ship was a marvel of crystalline engineering, its systems operating on principles of light and resonance. The Myraxian craft, on the other hand, was a hodgepodge of organic tech and mechanical ingenuity. As she delved deeper into the Voltan's warp drive, a realization struck her. "Gears," she called out. "Run a comparative analysis on the Voltan's warp drive and the atmospheric conditions on Earth over the past 24 hours. Analysis complete, Gears responded moments later. "There's a 99.7% correlation between the missing component's energy signature and a rare atmospheric phenomenon that occurred last night. It appears the Earth's magnetic field temporarily resonated with the Voltan technology, causing the component to dissolve." Jessie explained the situation to the aliens, watching as understanding and then embarrassment spread across their features. The Voltan captain's crystalline form dimmed slightly. We owe you and the Myraxians an apology. Our assumptions were hasty and unfounded." The Myraxian leader chittered softly, a sound Jessie had come to recognize as laughter. Apology accepted. Perhaps this can be a lesson in interspecies understanding. As Jessie worked to recreate the dissolved component using Earth materials and her growing knowledge of alien tech, she couldn't help but reflect on the bigger picture. These misunderstandings and conflicts were becoming more frequent as Earth's reputation as a repair hub grew. She was no longer just fixing ships. She was becoming a diplomat, mediator, and cultural bridge between vastly different species. The rest of the day brought its own set of challenges. A Zygonian freighter arrived, its hull covered in a strange, pulsating fungus that was slowly eating through the metal. Jessie had to quickly develop a treatment that would kill the fungus without harming the ship or its delicate cargo of rare spores. Next came a draconian warship, its fearsome captain demanding upgrades to their weapon systems. This presented Jessie with an ethical dilemma. Should she help improve technology that could be used for destruction? After careful consideration and a long discussion with the Draconian captain about their defensive needs, Jessie found a compromise. She focused on improving their shields and maneuverability instead, arguing that the best weapon was one that never needed to be fired. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the repair yard, Jessie found herself facing her biggest challenge yet. A massive ship, easily 10 times the size of anything she'd worked on before, appeared in the sky. Its design was like nothing she'd ever seen, defying the laws of physics as she understood them. The ship's captain, a being of pure energy contained within a complex exosuit, approached Jessie. Its voice, transmitted directly into her mind, was a symphony of emotions and concepts. "Greetings, human Jessie," the being said. "We are the Ethereals, travelers from the far reaches of the cosmos. We have journeyed across countless galaxies, seeking one who can help us with a problem that has plagued our kind for eons." Jessie felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. "I'll do my best to help," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "What seems to be the problem?" The ethereal's form flickered, conveying a sense of urgency. "Our ship, which is also our home, is powered by the very fabric of space-time. But after millennia of travel, the boundaries between dimensions have begun to weaken. We fear that without intervention, our journey may tear a hole in the universe itself." Jessie's mind reeled at the implications. This wasn't just about fixing a ship anymore. The fate of the entire universe could be at stake. She glanced at the toolkit in her hand, suddenly feeling woefully unprepared. But then, a familiar determination settled over her. This was why humanity had become the galaxy's go-to fixers. Where others saw insurmountable problems, humans saw challenges to overcome. "Gears," Jessie called out. "Looks like we're going to need to brush up on our quantum mechanics and interdimensional physics, and maybe call in a few favors from our alien friends." As she began to formulate a plan, gathering resources and knowledge from the diverse array of species in her repair yard, Jessie realized that this was more than just a cosmic challenge. It was an opportunity for humanity to prove its worth on the grandest scale imaginable. The sun disappeared below the horizon, but the repair yard buzzed with activity. Aliens of all kinds worked alongside humans, pooling their knowledge and technologies. In the center of it all stood Jessie Chen, the unlikely hero who had become humanity's ambassador to the stars. As she looked up at the ethereal ship, its form shimmering with otherworldly energy, Jessie smiled. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new risks, and new opportunities. But for now, she had work to do. The universe was counting on her. The repair yard hummed with activity as Jessie Chen wiped the sweat from her brow, her eyes fixed on the massive warship looming before her. This wasn't just any warship, it was the flagship of the Draconian fleet, a behemoth of advanced technology and raw power, and it was damaged beyond anything Jessie had ever seen. "Gears, what are we looking at here?" Jessie asked, her voice barely audible over the crackling of exposed energy conduits. The AI's response came swiftly. "Analysis complete. The ship has suffered damage consistent with a targeted attack using weapons far beyond current known galactic capabilities." Jessie frowned. This was the third ship this week with similar damage patterns. Something wasn't adding up. As she prepared to begin repairs, a commotion near the entrance of the yard caught her attention. A group of Draconians was engaged in a heated argument with representatives from the Galactic Council, the governing body that had formed in the wake of Earth's emergence as an interstellar repair hub. Jessie approached cautiously, her universal translator struggling to keep up with the rapid fire exchange. "Demand to know who is responsible for this attack." The Draconian commander growled, his scaled skin shimmering with anger. The Galactic Council representative, a tall, willowy being with shimmering blue skin, raised her hands in a placating gesture. "We understand your frustration, Commander Zark, but we have no evidence of any species possessing such advanced weapons technology." As the argument escalated, Jessie's mind raced. The damaged ships, the secrecy, the impossible weapons. Could all of this be connected? Later that evening, as the repair yard quieted and most of the aliens retired to their temporary quarters, Jessie sat in her office, poring over data from the recent repairs. "Gears," she said, rubbing her tired eyes. "Can you compile all the data we have on these mysteriously damaged ships? Look for any patterns or anomalies." As Gears processed the request, Jessie's gaze fell on a small, innocuous device sitting on her desk. It was a gift from the Ethereals, a token of gratitude for her help with their dimensional drive. They had called it a reality lens, capable of perceiving aspects of the universe invisible to most species. On a hunch, Jessie picked up the device and activated it. The world around her shimmered and shifted, revealing layers of reality she had never seen before. And there, hidden in the quantum foam of space-time itself, she saw something that made her blood run cold. Tiny fractures, almost imperceptible, ran through the fabric of reality around the damaged areas of the draconian ship. These weren't just ordinary battle scars, they were wounds in the very structure of the universe. "Gears," Jessie said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think we've stumbled onto something big here, really big." Over the next few days, Jessie threw herself into her investigation. She examined every damaged ship that came through her yard, using the reality lens to uncover the hidden fractures. Each discovery added another piece to a puzzle that was becoming increasingly alarming. It was during the repair of a Zygonian science vessel that Jessie finally caught a break. As she was recalibrating their sensor array, she noticed an anomaly in their long-range scans. A region of space, previously thought to be empty, was giving off faint energy readings unlike anything on record. With the help of Gears and the cooperation of several alien species intrigued by her discoveries, Jessie managed to enhance the scans. What they revealed sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Hidden behind an advanced cloaking field was a massive space station, its architecture unlike any known species. And it was from this station that the mysterious attack seemed to originate. As news of the discovery spread, tension gripped the galaxy. Accusations flew between species, old rivalries reignited, and the fragile peace that had formed around Earth's repair hub threatened to shatter. In the midst of the chaos, Jessie received an unexpected visitor. A hooded figure, their species indiscernible, appeared in her office late one night. "You've discovered something you were never meant to find," the figure said, their voice a harsh whisper. "But now that you have, you may be the galaxy's only hope." The figure revealed themselves to be a member of an ancient order, sworn to protect the universe from threats beyond mortal comprehension. They explained that the mysterious space station was a remnant of a long-lost civilization, one that had nearly torn reality apart in their quest for power. "The weapons you've encountered," the figure explained, "are not designed to destroy ships or conquer worlds. They are keys, meant to unlock the seals that keep our universe separate from something else, something hungry." Jessie's mind reeled at the implications. But why now? Why are these attacks happening after all this time? The figure's hood tilted slightly. "Because of you, Jessie Chen. Because of humanity. Your species' unique ability to repair and improve upon alien technology has upset the balance. There are those who fear your potential, and others who wish to exploit it." As the gravity of the situation sank in, Jessie realized that the skills that had made her a galactic hero were now placing her at the center of a cosmic conspiracy. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire universe hung in the balance. With renewed determination, Jessie began to formulate a plan. She would need to bring together the best minds from every species, combining their knowledge with humanity's unique problem-solving abilities. The repair yard would become more than just a place to fix ships. It would be the staging ground for a mission to save reality itself. As word of her plans spread, ships from across the galaxy began to arrive. Species that had been bitter enemies found themselves working side by side, united by the common threat. Jessie's reputation as a miracle worker had brought them together, but it was her leadership and vision that kept them focused on the monumental task ahead. In her garage-turned-command center, Jessie stood before a holographic display of the mysterious space station. Surrounding her were representatives from a dozen alien races, each bringing their own unique perspectives and technologies to the table. All right, folks, Jessie said, her voice steady despite the weight on her shoulders. We've got a universe to save. Let's get to work. As the team began to strategize, Jessie couldn't help but marvel at the strange turn her life had taken. From a small-town mechanic to the linchpin in a plan to save all of reality, she had come further than she ever could have imagined. But as she looked around at the diverse group of aliens and humans working together, she realized that this was what humanity did best. They adapted, they innovated, and when faced with impossible odds, they found a way to overcome. The galactic conspiracy had sought to exploit humanity's skills for nefarious purposes. Instead, it had united the galaxy in a way never before seen. And at the center of it all stood Jessie Chen, the unlikely hero who had become the galaxy's best hope for survival. As the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, Jessie took a deep breath. The greatest challenge of her life, and perhaps the history of the universe, lay ahead. But she was ready. After all, fixing the impossible was what she did best. The stars twinkled silently in the vast expanse of space, oblivious to the monumental events unfolding in their midst. A massive fleet of ships, representing every known species in the galaxy, hung in formation around a shimmering portal of energy. At the center of this unprecedented gathering was a small retrofitted Earth shuttle, piloted by none other than Jessie Chen. Jessie's hands were steady on the controls, but her heart raced with a mix of excitement and fear. The past week had been a whirlwind of preparation, strategy meetings, and last-minute repairs. Now, as she led this ragtag armada towards the mysterious space station that threatened all of reality, she couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. "All ships reporting ready, Jessie," Gears announced, its voice calm despite the gravity of the situation. Jessie nodded, taking a deep breath. "All right, folks," she broadcast to the fleet, "this is it. Remember the plan, watch each other's backs, and no matter what happens, we're making history today." With that, she guided her shuttle through the shimmering portal, the combined fleet following close behind. As they emerged on the other side, a collective gasp echoed across the communication channels. Before them loomed the space station, a massive structure that defied description. Its architecture was a mind-bending fusion of technology and organic matter, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. "Gears, start the scan," Jessie ordered, her eyes darting across the readouts flooding her screens. As the AI began its analysis, the fleet spread out in a defensive formation. They had anticipated resistance, but the eerie silence that greeted them was almost worse. Jessie's repair-honed instincts screamed that something was wrong. Suddenly, alarms blared across every ship. The space around them began to warp and twist, reality itself seeming to fray at the edges. Multiple dimensional rifts detected. Gears announced, its usually calm voice tinged with urgency. "The station is attempting to tear open the fabric of space-time." Jessie's mind raced. This was it. The moment everything hinged on. "Initiate Phase 1!" she commanded. Across the fleet, ships of various alien designs began to power up specially modified engines. These were based on the Ethereal's dimensional drive, adapted by Jessie and her team to counteract the station's reality-warping effects. As the countermeasures kicked in, the dimensional rifts stabilized, but the danger was far from over. The space station, sensing the threat, came to life. Massive tentacles of energy lashed out, grasping at ships and pulling them towards its pulsating core. "Phase 2. Now!" Jessie shouted, her hands flying over the controls. Squadrons of smaller ships broke formation, weaving between the energy tentacles with incredible precision. Each was piloted by a mixed crew of humans and aliens, their combined skills allowing them to navigate the chaos with unparalleled agility. As the dogfight raged around them, Jessie led a small team towards the heart of the station. Their ship, a hybrid of Earth and alien tech, was cloaked with a modified version of the reality lens technology. It allowed them to slip through the station's defenses, phasing in and out of normal space. Inside the station, they were met with a labyrinth of twisting corridors and pulsating organic matter. Jesse's team, composed of the brightest minds from across the galaxy, worked in perfect sync. Each challenge they encountered was met with a unique solution, blending different species' technologies and approaches in ways never before seen. They fought their way through automated defenses and reality-bending traps, each step bringing them closer to the station's core. Jessie's mechanical expertise proved invaluable, as she was able to bypass security systems and repurpose the station's own technology against it. Finally, they reached the central chamber. Before them stood a massive, swirling vortex of energy, the heart of the station and the source of its reality-altering power. "This is it," Jessie said, her voice filled with determination. "Gears, begin the shutdown sequence." As Gears interfaced with the station's systems, Jessie and her team worked to stabilize the vortex. They used a combination of Zygonian containment fields, draconian power regulators, and human-designed quantum stabilizers. It was a delicate balance, requiring split-second adjustments and perfect coordination. Outside, the battle raged on. The fleet was holding its own, but casualties were mounting. The fate of the universe hung in the balance, and time was running out. Just as it seemed they might succeed, the station unleashed its final defense. A wave of pure entropy washed over them, threatening to unravel their very existence. Equipment failed, aliens collapsed, and even Gear's voice became distorted and fragmented. In that moment of crisis, with the universe teetering on the brink of annihilation, Jessie Chen did what humans do best. She improvised. With a burst of inspiration, she realized that the entropy wave could be redirected. Using a combination of the reality lens, a jury-rigged Voltan crystal matrix, and her own innate understanding of how things work, Jessie created a feedback loop. The entropy wave was sucked back into the vortex, causing a cascading reaction. The station began to implode, its reality-warping powers turned in on itself. "Everyone out, now!" Jessie yelled, grabbing her stunned teammates and dragging them towards their ship. As they raced through the disintegrating station, Jessie's mind was already working on their escape plan. She patched into the fleet's communications, issuing rapid-fire orders for a coordinated retreat. Their ship burst from the collapsing station just as it reached critical mass. Behind them, the massive structure folded in on itself, collapsing into a singularity before winking out of existence entirely. As the dust settled and the dimensional rifts closed, a stunned silence fell over the fleet. Then, slowly at first but building to a crescendo, cheers erupted across every communication channel. They had done it. Against all odds, they had saved the universe. In the days that followed, as the fleet made its triumphant return to Earth, the full magnitude of their accomplishment began to sink in. Species that had been bitter enemies now spoke of lasting peace. The Galactic Council was reorganized, with Earth given a prominent seat in recognition of humanity's crucial role. Jessie Chen, the small-town mechanic who had become a galactic hero, found herself at the center of it all. As she stood before the assembled representatives of 100 worlds, she reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. "We faced a threat that no single species could have overcome alone," she said, her voice carrying across the grand chamber. "But together, combining our knowledge, our skills, and our courage, we achieved the impossible. This victory belongs to all of us." The chamber erupted in applause, a cacophony of alien sounds united in celebration. As Jessie looked out at the diverse gathering, she couldn't help but smile. The galaxy had come to Earth seeking repairs, but they had found so much more. They had found unity, hope, and the indomitable spirit of human ingenuity. As the celebrations continued, Jessie's mind was already turning to the future. There were still ships to be repaired, mysteries to be solved, and an entire universe waiting to be explored. And she, along with the rest of humanity, was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The age of Earth as the galaxy's repair shop had evolved into something far greater. It had become the starting point for a new era of galactic cooperation and adventure. And at the heart of it all was the simple, powerful truth that had brought them through their greatest trial. When the universe breaks down, you can always count on human ingenuity to put it back together.